The Department of Veteran Affairs has done a goof, paying out almost $11 million in bonuses to top executives instead of funneling those funds to individuals with critical and needed skills for the care of our veterans. I am Mandatory Fun Day, and I am your host for the day. I still don't know what to do with my arms. This is a hot topic, okay? There's a lot of room for discourse, for debate, all of that stuff. There's a lot of room for angry feelings too from people who have rightfully not had the greatest experiences. Rightfully not had the greatest, no, that's not it. Sorry. People can be angry if they haven't had good experiences with the VA rightfully. Okay, I gotta make sure I say that correctly. Good Lord, I'm gonna have an angry mob outside my house. Okay, but let me know what you guys think in the comments throughout the video. Okay, VA executives getting paid bonuses that they weren't supposed to be paid is probably not going to look favorable to the veteran community. I consider myself an advocate for the veteran community. I've kind of chosen my lane as the mental health lane. Okay, and that's one of the things that the VA is supposed to facilitate: mental health care for veterans. And so this is something that made me extremely angry when I initially found out about it. Found out about it a couple weeks ago, and I've waited this long to make a video on it because I was so angry I didn't think I'd be able to communicate effectively or look at this in an unbiased manner. Okay, and I think that is crucial when we're talking about stuff like this. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the like button on the video. If you're wondering where to get this shirt, it will be available later in June, mid-June. So don't worry, it's coming. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sneaky peeky. Felt kind of dirty saying sneaky peeky. And I hope you weren't looking at me directly in the eyes when I said that. You can sign up for membership on my website. That's going to give you a 10% discount on all merchandise purchases forever. And in addition to that, I'm constantly dropping discounts and information and really trying to give you guys a behind the scenes look in my email newsletter. You can also get that on my website. You can subscribe. That is 100% free. The Department of Veteran Affairs has its roots in the early 20th century. In 1917, the United States ended World War I. This led to the creation of the Bureau of War Risk Insurance, and this was supposed to dole out benefits and take care of veterans. In 1930, President Herbert Hoover actually expanded on this. He pulled everything together into the Veterans Administration, wanting to kind of create a unified front for veteran care. In 1944, the GI Bill was introduced to give veterans returning from World War II some much need, a little bit of a leg up, so to speak, as they're re-entering into Muggle world, civilian life. I'm a Harry Potter nerd. On March 15th, 1989, President Ronald Reagan elevated it to a cabinet-level position, and that is when you got the Department of Veteran Affairs. So you've got a couple main roles of the VA, and I know this is weird for those of you that know what the VA is, but there are a lot of people that watch my content that are not affiliated with the military, so I want to go through all of this, and quite frankly, I learned a lot when I was doing this reading. The first and probably most important is the execution of healthcare services for our veterans. People incur injuries while they're in service, and they need to be taken care of when the injury was caused by the service and no fault of their own. Next, you have benefits administration, and this could be any benefit. A stereotypical one people talk about is like the GI Bill. Next, you have burial and memorial services. It is vitally important that we render honors and we take care of our veterans as they pass on to the next life. In addition to that, the Department of Veteran Affairs takes care of or runs various support programs, things like employment support, homelessness prevention, and different training services to help make sure veterans are capable of entering the job market like anybody else. And finally, the Department of Veteran Affairs is supposed to be involved in the advocacy for our veterans in our government, and then helping facilitate policy and legislation that is kind of favorable to them and gets them the care that they need. All right, now back to your regularly scheduled program, the thing that you clicked on this video to watch. Let's talk about this goof, this scandal. $11 million is not a small amount of money. That's a significant amount of money. And anytime we're talking about taxpayer dollars, I don't care if it's $1, that should be handled with care, delicacy, and there should be significant oversight over it. Going back to August of 2022, you have what was called the PACT Act that was established. And unfortunately, the name is really long and I have the memory of a goldfish. So it was known as honoring our promise to address Comprehensive Toxics Act of 2022, the PACT Act. The goal of the PACT Act, man, that is really hard to say, y'all, was to help expand benefits, expand coverage for individuals who served, who are exposed to hazardous conditions. This has been a problem in almost every war we fought in the modern era, right? With the use of weapons that utilize chemicals and stuff like that, burn pits. You know, there are many health concerns that veterans have in relation to their service, and it's not just like musculoskeletal. I think the most common thing that people leave the service with, as far as negative, is a little bit of back pain and a little bit of knee pain, some musculoskeletal injuries. And the VA is supposed to take care of that as well, but it hasn't historically been great at taking care of people who have diseases from, you know, like chemical or hazardous environment related issues. It's come out semi-recently that $11 million, or almost $11 million of this money, $10.8 million to be exact, was paid in bonuses to VA executives. The money that got paid to VA executives was supposed to go as effectively bonuses to individuals with critical skills that represent staffing needs for the Department of Veteran Affairs. People that have specific abilities to do things, certifications, skills, whatever, that can help give care to our veterans, you know, like specialized care. 182 senior executives received anywhere from $39,000 to over $100,000. I did the math, and if you break down $10.8 million into $39,000 increments, that's 272 bonuses. I think. I just did the math off camera. I think it's close to that, okay? It's for sure somewhere in the ballpark of 270. Okay, so we're talking about, you know, you could have several people hired, right? If you could apply this bonus in addition to their salary compensation, $39,000 is a significant sum of money. It's a life-changing amount of money for most Americans. Like almost 50% of working Americans actually like make $39,000 a year. This would be an incredibly enticing bonus for somebody. It might get them to stay, or it might even get them to come on the team for the Department of Veteran Affairs anyway. If you broke it down by state, it's like just over 5 people per state. You know, and if we could have even one additional staff member in each Department of Veteran Affairs building, it could make a significant difference. Manning is always an issue in government positions and always an issue when it comes to dealing with issues of our veterans. So how did this even happen? Basically what happened is there was a communication breakdown. Somebody found out about the bonuses and individuals were not informed. Specifically, and I'm gonna say this name wrong, Dr. N. Nahal failed to inform Secretary Dennis McDonough about the bonuses. It didn't come out actually until finance officers for the Department of Veteran Affairs kind of did their digging. They did the thing that they do, and those money number guys are always good, right? They found what appeared to be some bad transactions in their mind. I said some a lot. That was embarrassing. An investigation was launched by the Inspector General. There was a report that came out, and it found inadequate justification for the bonuses, and it found that they did not jive with what was in the PACT Act or just general VA policy. Quite frankly, I don't know why anybody would at the executive level with what they get paid would be getting bonuses anyway. And I'm not saying that the VA is a bad organization. I actually know a lot of people, I personally know a lot of people who've had a lot of good experiences with the VA. Okay, I think there's far more positive experiences that happen than bad experiences. So I'm not trying to disparage VA employees at all. I think these bonuses should have gone to VA employees that quite frankly don't make a ton of money. Okay, but knowing some executives are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't think that they should have been getting bonuses anyway. Out of the Inspector General investigation, 8 recommendations were made. The first one was to implement stronger controls, basically safeguard who gets bonuses and for what reason. The next 2 were to review and update current policies and enhance communication. Okay? They need to take a look at the policies that are in place, specifically the policies where bonuses can be doled out. Enhancing communication is fairly straightforward. There was a lack of communication that caused this event in the first place, and it's frustrated a lot of people. A number of the executives have been quoted, with misgivings, voicing their misgivings, their frustrations over this. And yeah, if you got a large sum of money and then somebody said, "Hey, you got to pay that back," it's frustrating. It's frustrating when it's a small amount. I can't even imagine how frustrating it is when you got given $100,000. After doing the reading on this, I don't think that anybody had an idea that they weren't supposed to get the bonuses. Okay, I will say that. Initially, when I heard this story and I read the headline, I just assumed something shady was going on. I don't think that anymore after actually, doing as much reading as I have on it. The fourth recommendation was implementing some sort of conflict of interest mitigation. Okay, so we need to make sure that the person getting the bonus isn't part of the approval chain or able to impact policy that would allow them to get a bonus. People shouldn't be able to just give themselves more money willy-nilly out of the taxpayer's pocket. Leadership accountability and training and education were numbers 5 and 6 for recommendations. The last two recommendations, number 7 and 8, I think are some of the most important. The first one is a series of audits. There needs to be a continual series of audits on the CSI program, which is what doles out these bonuses and chooses who gets them. This program needs to be audited to make sure that the money is going to the appropriate place and it's the appropriate amount of money to give. And then finally, there needs to be maximum transparency in the awarding of bonuses. I think that number 8, the transparency portion, the 8th recommendation, is probably one of the most important. Okay, it should be widely known who's getting bonuses and for what reason. Honestly, I think the investigation and the recommendations made are pretty phenomenal. The money's all going to get recouped. The reactions from Congress and the public were obviously not good. VA Committee Chairman Mike Bost had some choice words. He was quoted effectively saying that the VA inappropriately used funds to line the pockets of its executives. I was shocked to find out that there are 182 individuals that got these bonuses, and they basically have like what is the equivalent of a CEO role in the civilian world, but in the VA. I have no earthly idea why we need 182 people filling CEO roles, right? Which I assume come with substantial compensation for the Department of Veteran Affairs. Now, I don't know if these individuals knew something funny was going on with this money. I'm not sure, okay? There could have been, okay? Based on the readings that I've done, based on the information that I have, it doesn't look like that to me, but it looks like, Congressman Mike Bost thinks differently, okay? And anybody who's done any amount of time in government service, the military, whatever, knows that the government does not dole out extra money willy-nilly. It is usually a painful process to get it. It comes with a bunch of stipulations. Most of the time you can't get it in a lump sum. There's payment programs to give it out. It's crazy, okay? It's insane how difficult it is to get bonus money that the government has said it owes you or it will give you. It seems like the process is made intentionally painful, but neither here nor there. Again, I don't know if there was foul play or whatever on the side of these executives. I don't think that our executives in the Department of Veteran Affairs should be getting bonuses anyway, personally. I mean, they should be there not for the money, but to take care of veterans. Okay, there are other ways to make money in the world other than taxpayer dollars. The veteran community and the public have not had positive outlooks on this. The story's been around for a couple weeks now, and I've seen nothing good from the veteran community. Obviously, a lot of them feel betrayed. There are quite a few people that have had really bad experiences with the VA. And I'm not trying to take away from their experiences at all. They are rightfully angry over this mismanagement of money. And if you look at, how many people could have been, either put on payroll or just, given bonuses to retain them, people given bonuses to hire them in the first place. There's a lot that could have been done with this money. I will say that based on the information that I have, somewhere in the vicinity of 90% of the total money that was supposed to go to this kind of stuff did get where it was intended to go. So this wasn't some catastrophic error where all of the money was misused. A lot of the money did go where it was supposed to. It went to its intended target. After VA financial officers discovered the error, they immediately canceled the erroneous payments and started reaching out to people to recoup the money. And that is going to be painful because they are not giving people years to pay that back. They are paying it back what is either instantly or effectively instantly. The VA has stated that it is committed to ensuring that people with critical skills, people that will fill critical staffing shortages, are paid appropriately in a timely manner, and they'll get the money that they're supposed to have so that we can retain them and get the best care possible for our veterans. I am really excited to hear what you guys think about this one in the comments, okay? I'm really, really excited for that one, so please let me know. I mean, this was a pretty significant blunder, okay, but it looks like everything's being done to correct it within the power of people that are aware of it and have the ability to do something about it. Okay, but please, as always, comment your thoughts. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. And if you liked this video, please click the like button. Wow, my voice just cracked. That was cool.